It's pretty clear that there are both positive and negative effects of media on society. We'll dig into what some of those are today, and I'll give you a very compelling example of how it works. You might notice that I've got a logo on my shirt right here. It says Nova Principles. This is a program that I co-founded with my partner Charlie Wakamatsu, who's a retired police officer. We developed a curriculum to teach kids in the school. We train the police officers who go into the school to teach the kids about alcohol and other drugs, about safety, about media awareness. And it's a phenomenal program that helps to teach kids principles that allow them to be successful. Our motto is illuminating the path to excellence. One of the principles that we teach is an old computer term. It's called GIGO. GIGO, you've heard it? Maybe? Garbage in, garbage out. G-I-G-O, GIGO. Garbage in, garbage out means that it matters what kind of stuff we put into our head. I have to tell you about an experience that I've had many times with groups of people. Picture a group of people that's gathered together. Maybe we've got 100 people in a room. And I have an exercise that I take them through, and then I show them this stimulus. Now this is simply 3 letters with a blank in between the first 2. R blank P-E. And I ask them a simple question. What letter is missing from this word? You've already come up with a letter, haven't you? The letter that you come up with is determined by what's already in your mind. When I do this experiment with a whole room full of people, I have roughly a third of the audience that says that letter is very obviously an I. The other 2/3 of the room is looking at them like, you're crazy, it's not an I. Another third of the room says, no. It's an O that's missing. And that surprises the other 2/3 of the room, but they are sure that it's an O. And the final group, it's an A. Unfortunately, Dr. Paul, it's an A. Well, those 3 letters form very different words with this particular stimulus, don't they? Why does one of the groups say so convincingly that it's an I? Here's how I set them up for it. I have everyone in the group close their eyes. Everyone in the room, close your eyes. Now a third of the group, and I've already determined which thirds, where we're dividing. A third of the group, open your eyes. And I show them these words. You'll see that this stimulus says yellow, banana, red, apple. They get those words in their mind, and I tell them, look, just focus on, think about, picture, and envision these words. I want you to memorize them. I want you to get them down. You got them? Awesome. Now close your eyes. They close their eyes. I put those words away. Now the second group, open your eyes. And I show them the next set of words. It looks like this. Now you see on this stimulus card I have climbing, tug-of-war, pull, and braided. Notice what images that brings to your mind. Think about it. Visualize it. See it clearly. You got it? Memorize the words. You there? Awesome. Now close your eyes. The second group closes their eyes, and I put those words away. And now it's time for the third group to open their eyes. They open their eyes and they get to see these words. Sex, violence, abuse, and crime. Yeah, how did they get lucky enough to be in this group, right? Think about the words. Get them in your head. Okay? Memorize those words. You got it? Awesome. Now close your eyes. Now everyone in the room, open your eyes and tell me what letter is missing. Can you see from this example why that first third of the group was so convinced that that missing letter is I? Because obviously we're talking about fruit, and ripe fruit, yellow banana, red apple. Yeah, it's an I. It's an I. That's why they're so sure. Well, the other two groups are puzzled that they would think it's an I, because the second group is equally sure that it's an O. We're talking about ropes, tug of war, pull, braided, climbing. It's an O. Got it. And the third group is every bit as convinced that it's an A. You're not wrong for whatever letter you thought it was when I first showed you the stimulus. In fact, without the preparatory experience of seeing the other word sets, whatever comes up for you is going to be what you've been exposed to the most recently that helps you to make sense out of that stimulus that I showed you. R blank P-E. You might notice also that if you came up with an A, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person who's inclined to go out there and commit a crime. No, it probably means you've been tracking the media. It probably means you've watched the news or you've tuned into the media that's having an effect on your brain. And it's not right or wrong. Notice that it's happening. Is it the effect that you want it to have? There are positive effects of media. There are negative effects of media. And I'm not here to tell you which is which. I want you to notice that it's happening and that it's impacting your brain. What goes in matters, and it affects what comes out. We've been able to show it with simple experiments like the one I just shared with you. We've learned it through sad experience as we've provided incarceration for people who have acted out on the negative media influences that they allowed to come into their mind. It matters. Garbage in, garbage out. What can we do about all this? I'm making a determined effort personally to provide lots of positive media through this channel. There are so many other people who are providing inspiring and uplifting and healthy content for us to enjoy and to consume. What goes in matters because that affects what comes out. What if all of us got a little more on purpose about sharing positive media? Not only sharing it, but creating it. And then acting in ways that continue to perpetuate positive and inspiring interactions between our fellow human beings. We've had enough with the hate and the negativity and the crime. It's our turn to step up with the positive input that will absolutely transform our world. This episode was sponsored by Nova Principles. Check it out at novaprinciples.com. I'm a founder of this program where we teach children the kinds of principles that I shared here in this video today. We would love to have your support.
I saw her standing in the street